Come on and talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. Come on and talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. Come on and talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. Come on and talk about it over tacos. Come on and talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. Come on and talk about it over tacos.
Those tacos were fantastic, but I think we should get something sweet. Hi, I'm Montana Jones, and this is Talking Tacos with the Black and Brown Theater. Today I'm joined by Cris Hardaway, who voices Rapunzel in Black and Brown Theater's upcoming movie, Rapunzel. Now that we've had our tacos, it's time to talk. So, I wanted to know like how long you've been acting, been a part of theater and such.
Well, professionally, I've been acting probably about like 4 years, but I've done plays and everything probably since I was like 5.
What's like your favorite play you think you've been in so far?
My favorite play, well, Rapunzel.
Rapunzel, yes, of course, right?
Yeah. Probably the most recent one.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And speaking of Rapunzel, I know that you worked with Disney for a while on their cruise ship. So if you could tell me a little bit about that experience, what that was like working with Tiana.
Yeah. So on Cruise Line, I was friends with Princess Tiana, and I don't know, it's something you can't prepare yourself for because it's such a level of performing that like takes a lot of like improv skills and just people skills, being
Right,
around
yeah,
people
yeah.
and everything like that. And then also there's like the performing part where we had shows and everything and being able to see Tiana do her thing and all that.
Yeah, I bet you've like experienced your fair share of crazy interactions, or even like some fun and sweet ones with Tiana and like with the people who get to visit her.
Yeah.
So I wonder if you could like share any of those stories. It maybe like an inspirational one or one that was a little like, ooh, that's kind of crazy.
There's a few, like they say the cutest things, the darndest things, they're adorable, but I think the one that probably stuck with me the most was when I was hanging out with Tiana. There was this little girl who maybe she was probably like 9 or 10, and she really related to Tiana because she also wanted to create like a restaurant. She wanted to build a restaurant of her own, and then also her dad had passed, so like Tiana's story was kind of her story.
Yeah.
So it was really inspiring for her to meet Tiana in like a special moment, and she started crying, and then Tiana started crying, and it was like a really really special moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I bet. I believe so.
Yeah.
And so working so closely with Tiana, I wonder if there's any parts of her story that maybe you relate to as well.
Oh, for sure. Like Tiana is she's so wholesome and so relatable with building herself up and kind of doing it herself. A hardworking woman, and then also like family is so important to her story as well. Like she wants people to enjoy each other with good food. She wants everyone around. She wants everyone just like have a good time. So I think I can relate to Tiana in that way as well. Just being with family and enjoying good food. Like my family, we have cookouts all the time. My granddad has fish Fridays every Friday. We go over his house and like enjoy his little fish fries. So yeah.
And so getting to work with Tiana with Disney, what was that like audition process like to get that job?
Ooh, okay. So, like so I auditioned maybe like a year ago, and it was kind of like when the COVID restrictions were like letting up, especially for like actors and everything. And like professionally, I started like pursuing a career probably like 3 years ago. So around that time, everyone was doing like Zoom auditions and just like a lot of auditions online, and I didn't have a chance to like audition in person. So
Yeah.
I saw that Disney had the casting call, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just go for it. Why not? We'll see what happens. So I just went, not expecting anything, and it was in Toronto. So I drove 4 hours to Toronto with my mom, and I was like, this is just gonna be a fun little experience. And when I got there, they were teaching like a dance routine, and they were making like cuts and everything. And I was like, there's no way, because I'm not a dancer at all. And like I completely like botched the routine the whole way through, and I was like, oh my goodness. But I was like, you know what? I drove 4 hours here.
Yeah.
Why not have a little bit of fun? So, I just kind of like smiled my way through the routine and just meeting all the other girls. They were all having so much fun. And a few days later, they called and was like, "Hey, we want you to read some sides for hanging out with Tiana." So I did that, and I turned that in. And the next day, they called me and was like, "Oh, a position had opened up for a cruise line. We would like you to, join the crew." So
Amazing. So I feel like it's always when you think that you didn't do as well as when you do the best, and then you get the job,
Exactly,
and that's so much
like
fun.
when you stop caring, that's
Yeah.
when like everything
And
kind
just
of.
have fun and trust your talent.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Exactly. So for any like aspiring actresses or actors who like want to work with Disney one day, what's like one piece of advice you'd give them?
Have like when you go to those auditions, just have as much fun as you can, because it's honestly what the whole like what Disney is about, is just having fun and making magical moments. So just, yeah, enjoy yourselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. It's
Yeah.
the most important thing, right? At the end of the day.
Sure, yeah.
So working with Tiana and working as Rapunzel in Black and Brown's Rapunzel movie that's coming out soon, what would you say those experiences were like hand in hand? Do you think they were very similar, very different, like honing into two different princesses, right, with two different stories?
For sure. So with working with Black and Brown, there's more performing. Like I was on stage more, and then the whole film part. So I didn't get a chance to interact with the kids like I did hanging out with Princess Tiana. But being a princess, you just yeah. I don't know. Yeah. So being a princess, yeah.
No, I completely I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. A princess is a princess at the end of the day,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Yeah. Exactly. And so, I mean, just to speak to, I guess, that experience, right? Shooting that film on stage. What was that like?
Filming
Filming the Rapunzel. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was different than other films that I worked on, because we got a chance to actually do the performance, so like the theater part first. So we got a chance to do all of the rehearsing. So we like knew all of our lines and everything, and then we got a chance to film. So that made it so much easier on set, because a lot of times when you are doing a film, you're kind of like learning your lines, not like that day, but like you don't have as much time to prepare as you do with theater. So
Yeah.
doing those together was really cool, and helps you prepare a lot as an actor.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And so I guess since you bring up your film experience, I'd love to hear more about that. Like which one, I guess you prefer, like your stage, like your theatrical stuff, or like film and like TV stuff?
Well, they both have like their pros and cons,
Yeah.
and they're both like so different but so like similar at the same time. With like theater, you spend months rehearsing, and then you perform, and it's kind of just like you do it all at once. But then with film, like I said before, sometimes you're getting your lines the day of or the day before. Like you have less time to prepare, and you're kind of like figuring things out while you're on set,
Right.
opposed to like figuring things out beforehand.
Yeah.
So, and I love in theater, I love like the crowd's energy.
Yes.
You can really feed off that. But like in film, you don't really get that. You just kind of have like the crew, you're all watching it.
Right. No, I think that's my favorite thing about theater as well. It's like getting to feed off energy with the audience. Like when they laugh, you laugh, So it definitely changes something about
A
it.
little special.
A little
Little
special.
bit more special, yeah.
What do you think viewers of the movie would be like most excited to see about this Rapunzel movie?
Ooh, gosh. So many things. I feel like it's a timeless tale, and I love like the rhyming scheme of everything. The whole series went up on a rhyme. And then maybe to see themselves in the characters.
Yeah.
Because we have like the Black and Brown theater, we have Black and Brown actors and actresses. So, seeing themselves in the characters probably would be pretty exciting. I would.
And that's a
Yes.
great segue into my next question, right? Because of course, the Black and Brown Theater stands for representation. It's one of the biggest like focal points of the company, and so I want to know what representation means to you.
Well, there's so many stories that needs to be told of people of all different backgrounds, and I think representation is being able to tell those stories, as you want them to be told. So if you see, if you see a story that you want to be that you want to create, being able to create that the way you want it to be. So whether it's, black actors, white actors, Hispanic, whatever it is.
Yeah. I think there's a Toni Morrison quote that always I always think of when I think about representation and creating stories, and it's like, if there's a story that has not been written that you want to read, you must write it yourself. And I think that's what I love, getting at it with talking about representation, is that we have to create our own stories, which is why I'm so happy that Black and Brown Theater is out here creating stories for people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, any words of advice you would give to maybe some aspiring Black actresses going into this industry, either whether that's with Disney stuff or with film, what would you words of wisdom for them?
Probably just keep doing it. Just go for it. Just do all that you can. Try not to compare yourself to anyone. Their journey is different than your journey. Just if you love it, just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what would you tell yourself, the younger version of yourself? What do you think she'd be really proud of in this moment, and what do you think you'd want to go back and tell her?
Oh gosh. Just I don't know, because all the things that I've done, I don't know if I would be able to tell my younger self to prepare, because there's no way I would, knowing younger me, I wouldn't be able to prepare myself. So just get ready and you're gonna have fun.
I love that.
Yeah.
And are there any actresses or actors that you look to for inspiration?
Probably Denzel Washington. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
for sure. I feel like any character he plays, whether it's Alonzo or John Q, you're always wow, that's a really compelling performance. Or actresses, probably Viola Davis, we were talking about that earlier.
Right.
She's so talented and so amazing. Or I remember there was this one scene where Jessica Lange and oh gosh, slipping through me. Jessica Lange and Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett. They were in American Horror Stories, and they were doing this scene together, and it was so incredible to watch them bounce off each other. So, yeah, it's very very talented.
Right.
Actresses, yeah.
So what would you say has been most instrumental for your training, your upbringing as an actress? What do you think has been the most important thing?
The most important thing. Taking acting classes, going to school, just getting that experience.
Right.
Because I think someone said, it takes 10,000 hours to get good at something. So just preparing yourself to be a performer is really, really important. Did my mother send you here to trick me? Out of all the towers, why pick me? And you never did tell me who you are, or why you would travel so far just to hear a girl sing a song, which you liked but didn't sing along. Your whole story sounds suspicious to me. A bit fictitious, wouldn't you agree?
So did you watch other Rapunzel movies to get inspiration, or what was your process for preparing for the role?
Well, I have watched Disney's Rapunzel and Barbie's Rapunzel, but I didn't. I guess that was kind of in the back of my mind of being a princess or whatever. But I think what helped more was doing all the work we did as a cast together. I remember our director Emilio, he brought in a movement coach, I think it was, and it was all these different people that helped us through the rehearsal process. I remember with the movement coach, she would say kind of with dance or something. She was how would a princess move, and we worked on that and things like that. So that probably prepared me the most for the role. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so, what would you say that, speaking of just Emilio and the things that he brought in for Rapunzel, what would you say that Black and Brown Theater has provided you the most? What do you think is one of the biggest lessons I feel you've learned during your time in the theater company?
That Black and Brown, the Black and Brown community, we want to see these timeless stories told through our perspective. And I think giving all the actors and actresses that are Black and Brown a chance is incredible, and I love that.
Right.
Yeah.
And especially because this is a tough industry for people who look like us, right, to break into. There's lots of barriers, and so I guess my next question for you would be what are some things that you face, as an actress of color, and then how have you overcome those barriers and those hardships?
Well, I can't like really think of any barriers, but I think it's more like being an actress is just kind of sometimes when you're looking at like casting directors or like agents or whatever, they kind of have this very small hole that they want to fill.
Right.
So like just being an actor, it's like okay, if they're not looking for your type, then just kind of just move on to the next. Just keep auditioning. I remember there was something on that I read that like the chance of being a successful actor is like one in I don't know like 100 million or or whatever. So I told myself, if that's what it takes, then I guess I have to audition 100 million times.
Right.
So
I love that.
yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
And so, what do you think? Like a piece of work that you've been a part of that you're like the most proud of?
Most proud of. I would say probably working with Disney. Like it's one of the biggest entertainment companies in the world.
Right.
And saying that I was able to be a performer on like their cruise ships is pretty exciting. Yeah.
What was that like living on a cruise for like months? Like, how was that?
It took some time getting like used to because ship life like it's where there's like a group of people, so there's like probably like 1,000 crew members, and then you're just spending all your time with them, and then like with those 1,000 crew members, you have like your different sections. So like in the entertainment section, it was probably like 20 or 30 of us where we were just out with each other all the time, and then also like being a performer. Like I remember when I first started. I had 2 weeks to like learn how to work on a ship and then also learn my role. So like when I got there, I was just like, I don't know, like I was so overwhelmed. I remember like crying so many times and I like couldn't call my mom because there was no cell phone connection or anything. So I would just like cry and then talk to like my castmates and like just try to figure it all out. But like I don't know, that's kind of the fun thing too, because like Disney, they just kind of throw things at you and you just gotta take it all in, and like the show must go on. You got to get out there and do it.
You're like juggling like learning Morse code, but then you're also learning like
Exactly.
Disney terms.
Exactly. Yeah, like our assembly stations. There was like Alpha, Zulu, like Yankee, like all this crazy stuff, and I'm like, and like learning how to flip over a lifeboat, and then also like learning makeup. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
a lot. You're ready for anything now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You can step into any situation, right?
What kind of books do you like? I've got Rose.
I like to read about worlds no one knows, distant lands with a princess in disguise,
Medieval dramas where everyone dies.
fantasy stories with magical rings,
Period pieces with beheaded kings.
goosebumps books where you can pick the next chapter.
Stories with a happily ever after.
See, why can't a prince be someone like you?
Huh?
They're so boring.
If only you knew.
Let's dig into these drinks. I'm gonna ask you a couple quick questions, some rapid fire ones as we're digging in. This is good.
Mango. I love mangoes.
All right, first rapid fire question. Favorite Disney princess?
I'm a little biased, but Princess Tiana. Yeah.
Maybe just a little biased.
Just a little biased.
Favorite Disney movie?
The Lion King.
Good one. That animated, like the one with Beyonce, that recent one.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So good. Her voice, everything. It's everything.
Just what I need to hear.
Favorite play or musical?
There's so many. Wicked.
Wicked?
Wicked, yeah.
Good one. Very good one. Okay, East Coast or West Coast?
Oh gosh. I love the sunsets on the West Coast, but West Coast.
West Coast?
West Coast, yeah. Yeah. I love a good beach theme.
Favorite stop that you guys made on the Disney cruise?
Ooh, Mexico. There was always like so much to do. Yeah. So like each time we went to Mexico, we were able to do something different. So
And good eats. Those tacos.
good eats. Yep.
Okay, favorite Disney treat?
Favorite Disney trait?
Treat.
Treat? Like at the parks and all that? Oh, those churros.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Churros.
And on the ship, they had churro waffles. So
Oh my
good.
gosh,
they were
that
shaped a
sounds
little Mickey Mouse.
so good.
Yeah. I had to wake up super early to get those churro waffles, but like, it was worth it. It was worth it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Favorite Mickey characters, like between like Mickey, Minnie, Donald Duck, like all those. Like which one's your favorite?
Oh, Pluto, my favorite little puppy dog. I love him.
Do you like dogs? Big dog fan?
for sure. Yeah.
Do you have a dog?
I don't have a dog, but I feel like everybody in my family has a dog.
So it's like you basically have a
Yeah,
dog.
pretty much. But like also when you're on the ship, so or like even if you're like working at the parks, you have your main friends. So like my main friend was Princess Tiana, but like you also got to hang out with some other friends. So I was also hanging out with Pluto. I was hanging out with Bo Peep. I was hanging out with Buzz Lightyear, Joy. So
Favorite park at Disney World?
Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. It's like Magic Kingdom and then Epcot for me.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Both good ones.
With the promise that she would become queen, she was left alone, never to be seen. Her father went to work for the elite, unsure if they would ever again meet. The girl spent her days, bored as she can be, waiting for the perfect chance to break free.
Okay, so one last question to wrap us up. What do you think you are most excited for with the release of the Rapunzel movie?
I'm most excited to like see it all come together and like see the animation and everything and just see all of our hard work put together. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining me, Chris.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for watching Talking Tacos. We had Miss Chris here who's playing Rapunzel, and we cannot wait to see you in the next episode.
Yay.
Come on and talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. Come on and talk about it over tacos.